Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting of the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District to order at 9:03 a.m. on January 28th, 2021. Welcome to the new year, everyone. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Director Aquino?
Here.
Director Daniels?
Here.
Director Desmond?
Here.
Director Frost?
Here.
Director Guerra?
Here.
Director Harris?
Here.
Director Kennedy? Director Laloe? Director Natoli? Director Papineau?
Here.
Director Cerna?
Here.
Director Singh Allen?
Here.
Director Terry?
Here.
Director Vang? We have a quorum.
Great. Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just got a message from Board Member Laloe that his Zoom is not working. So if someone would be so kind to maybe send him over the link, that would be helpful. We just hold on one.
Mr. Chair, you just muted yourself.
Yes. No, yes, sir. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, if you could please read the announcement, greatly appreciate that.
In compliance with directives of the State and Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the physical location of this meeting is closed to the public, consistent with state guidelines on social distancing and California Executive Order N 2920. Members of the public are encouraged to participate in the meeting by observing the meeting in real time at www.sacmetrocable.tv, Zoom video conference, and by submitting written comments electronically by email at boardclerk@airquality.org. Comments submitted in person will be delivered to the Board of Directors by staff. Public comments regarding matters under the jurisdiction of the Board of Directors will be acknowledged by the chairperson and accepted until the adjournment of the meeting, distributed to the Board of Directors, and included in the record. This meeting of the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District is cablecast live without interruption on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T UVerse cable system. This meeting is being closed captioned and we webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. Today's meeting will be repeated on Tuesday, February 2nd at 1 p.m. and Friday, February 5th at 2 p.m. on Channel 14.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. And then if everyone could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance for tradition's sake here. We'll keep doing it even on Zoom. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Okay. All right, Madam Clerk, now that we've established a quorum and done our announcement, we'll go ahead and go on with our Air Pollution Control Officer's report. Good morning and Happy New Year, Dr. Ayala.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning to you as well and to the rest of the board. It's great to see you in the new year. You'll see that the first item on the agenda for the APCO report is just a real simple and warm welcome to all of you returning board members, but especially our new elected officials that are on our board. We've been making the rounds, trying to reach out to you and touch base as a means of a simple introduction and to talk about the Air District and what our agency does. and we'll continue to do that and obviously be at your service in case we can assist you with any issues. But anyways, Madam Clerk, please advance the slides. So two things that I'm going to include in my APCR report. One is I want to give you an update on the budget, and we'll get to that in a minute. And the other thing is I wanted to talk about priorities. It's the first meeting of 2021, the first time that we come together as a board. We took a couple months break at the end of last year. So I just wanted to touch on a few things for you, just so that you have an idea of what 2021 is going to look like for us as an air agency. Obviously, the first thing is dealing still with the pandemic and the continuity of operations for our agency. We are anticipating to still be at a significant level of telecommuting well into the year, perhaps past June, July timeframe. The nice thing is that we've adjusted nicely. We've been able to deploy the tools and the IT technology that most of our team needs to be able to telework and still ensure that we're keeping the ship afloat. So, unless anything changes dramatically, we are in a good place when it comes to the continuity of operations and the ability for us to telework. The second priority, again, is something that I hope for those of you returning to the war is sounding very familiar. As I was thinking about, how do I convey to you all the important things that an air agency like our air district does? If there's one thing that can encapsulate all of that, really is the fact that all of our work, no matter what division in our agency is done, is really done to make sure that the region gets to attainment of the national ambient air quality standards. We have a plan in place, but we're not at the levels of controlling pollution that we need to be. So when you think about our principal mission of protecting public health and the reason we have a permitting program and inspectors in the field and a lot of planning activity and air quality monitoring, all of that is really to say our principal function is protecting public health by making sure that the region is on track to meet the federal standards. And the important role we play also is again, this is a federal requirement, so the region can have access and be eligible for transportation funding that comes from the federal government. So there's a whole host of reasons why we want to do this. The third priority for the year, and this is interesting because we actually put together this, a few days ago, and it's interesting that we're talking about President Biden's climate change agenda a day after the White House and the president had what they're dubbing Climate Day yesterday. But really, as we have been reading in the news, and I'm sure you're all tracking, the climate change agenda, the agenda for race and equity, green jobs, green technology that the new administration is espousing very much aligns not only broadly with what California wants to do and has been doing, but also the implementing agencies, meaning the air districts. So we're going to be keeping an eye out for what we anticipate to be increasing opportunities, obviously to funding. They want to go big on EV deployment. They want to go big on infrastructure. They want to go big on clean air and equity and all those issues that are important to us. So that is definitely going to be a priority for us to make sure that we can participate in being a part of the solution. And obviously, we're not doing this alone. We're in partnership with the other districts in California and really nationally with the Association of Clean Air Agencies that we belong to. The fourth priority is, and I touched on this a little already, is environmental justice. There is a sea of change in terms of the emphasis at the state level and now at the federal level on making sure that the programs we put in place are understood, are implemented through a lens of environmental justice. And you have heard us talk about community air protection. That's a new state mandate. But I think beyond that, we truly do want to become better at community engagement and really including our communities, particularly those that have been most marginalized, to see how the clean air solutions that we're going to be working on can help communities. And you're going to hear in a moment in one of the informational items from my colleague, Mr. Lemus, on some of those thoughts. And then the last one, and we have our legislative advocate here today who's going to give you a briefing as well. Obviously, we are tracking the state budget. And in particular, a lion's share, I mean, the significant majority of our programs that we use for implementing clean air solutions and technology are funded by the state. So we track the state budget very closely. Thus far, the initial budget that the governor put out this month is got some good things for us, but we need to stay focused on that because there's going to be a lot of need for advocating to make sure that not only all air districts get what is needed, but also then our air district gets our fair share. And I hope that we can count on a few of you to help us go and knock on doors at the Capitol. Next slide, please, Madam Clerk. So the last thing I want to do is talk a little bit about the budget, because you may recall that when we first went into the lockdown last March, the board directed us to come back now with a budget amendment because we were all anticipating that the pandemic and the lockdown in particular was going to just completely decimate budgets. Going into that conversation before the pandemic, we had already brought and we were prepared to bring you our budget for the current fiscal year, which, as you know, is a yearly process. And obviously, we were particularly interested in understanding the impact and preparing for the impact from the pandemic, because we had already projected that in the future, as it stands at the moment, there is a gap between expenditures and revenues for our district. And you can see the size of it is anywhere between $2 and $5 million a year. So obviously, we were very particularly sensitive to any further impacts from the pandemic. So what we did is we try to develop some indicators. And Madam Clerk, please, next slide. We try to identify some indicators that would give us an idea in terms of how our air agency, our district, was responding to the pandemic, the impacts. And you can see that in some cases, things are down. In some cases, programs are up. Right. So I'm not going to go into the detail of the table. You have it in your packet. We've talked about this before, but really the bottom line that I want to convey to you as a board is that our recommendation is that it is not necessary at this point to do a mid-course adjustment to the budget. In March, we're going to bring back to the budget committee already our projections for the next fiscal year. In April, you're going to get a full download of what we are anticipating. So we think that we can weather the storm, if you will, and then just stay on course. And any further adjustments that are necessary, we just fold that into the next budget process for next fiscal year. So I hope you agree with that recommendation. Again, we wanted to be diligent and sort of close the loop on that direction that you gave us. So with that, Mr. Chair, that concludes the APCO report. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Ayala. Generally, we try to use the raised hand function if there's any questions for our APCO report here. I think the big message overall is we've been extremely prudent. Our organization acted quickly, and we've been able to adjust to the pandemic. One of the important things for the new board members here to note is that some of the information we see here kind of gives us also some economic indicators about where our region is going, such as the number of air quality permits that are pulled. And that kind of gives us an early sense of if there's still economic activity on that. And so maybe Dr. Ayala, if you could talk a little bit about how that's a beneficial thing for some of the jurisdictions here for the new members.
Absolutely, thank you, and thanks for highlighting some of the details. So, the principal indicator is air quality permits, right? I mean, these are permits that are going to businesses that are subject to our jurisdiction, that are still in business, if you will, that are still needing to use technology equipment for their business. And you can imagine the diversity of the sectors is wide. But you can see that the indicator we have is new applications. It's only down 9%. In contrast, cancellation of those permits, which is also an indicator, something we don't want to see, is also moving in the right direction. For example, commercial building renovations, and we have a program that is focusing on controlling asbestos. You can see that is also down to some extent, but you can see that construction and entitlement projects, we have a role in land use and CEQA commenting that is significantly up. So I think to Mr. Chair's point, we're tracking these indicators that are loosely related to just how the economy in the region, in our jurisdiction, is sort of responding to what is happening with the pandemic. And obviously, one of the things that we do frequently is check in with our jurisdictions. So the cities that make up our board, we're in constant communication with city staff. We're in constant communication with our sister agencies like SACOG, SMUD, and some of the others that we normally work with. And so again, some of them are good news, some of them are not so good news, but on the net effect is that certainly we don't see a reason for making a mid-course adjustment to our budget.
Great. Thank you very much, Dr. Ayala. Any members of the board that have questions for their pollution control officer? I think board member Mai is on by phone here. So we've got internet issues, as we know. So, she is. She's on video there now. So good.
Yeah,
We're all
I'm
good.
here now. My apologies. Wi-Fi was down South Sac, so I'm here at City Hall. Actually, the first time sitting at my desk. So really great to be here virtually with all of you.
Well, thank you, board member Vang, for being here today. Great. Since no comments from the board, we'll move on to the consent calendar. Madam Clerk.
The consent calendar, item number 1, the October 22nd, 2020 Board of Directors meeting minutes. Item 2, annual report on companies accepting over $250,000 from the Low Emission Vehicle Incentive Program. Item number 3, appointment of Dr. Stephen Wires to the hearing board. Item number 4, contract amendment with ICF Jones and Stokes, Inc. to update the Cali Mod and Greenhouse Gas Handbook. Item number 5, quarterly contracts report, October 2020 through December 2020. Item number 6, contract with Sonoma Technology, Inc. for community mobile air toxics monitoring study. Item number 7, fiscal year 2019 through 20 comprehensive annual financial report and single audit report.
Move the calendar.
It's been moved by board member Terry. Is there a second?
Second, Kennedy.
It's been seconded by board member Kennedy. Is there any discussion? But Madam Clerk, do we have any members from the public commenting on this item?
We do not.
Great, thank you. Without any further discussion, back to the board. Okay, we'll go ahead and call the roll. Madam Clerk.
Director Aquino?
Aye.
Director Daniels?
Aye.
Director Desmond?
Aye.
Director Frost?
Aye.
Director Guerra?
Aye.
Director Harris?
Aye.
Director Kennedy?
Aye.
Director Laloe?
Aye.
Director Natoli? Is absent. Director Papineau? Director Papineau, I can't hear you.
Aye.
Thank you. Director Cerna?
Aye.
Director Singh Allen?
Aye.
Director Terry?
Aye.
Director Vang?
Yes.
The consent calendar passes.
Great. After, having that passed forward, we'll go ahead to the next item, Madam Clerk.
Item number 8 on the discussion calendar, selection of the chair and vice chair for the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District.
Great. Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'll pass this over to board member or Vice Chair Frost.
Thank you, Eric. I just want to thank the staff for all their great work with managing the budget over the past couple of years, and thank Eric. You have been a great chair for all of us. I know I was in line to be the chair next, and I've had a conversation with Eric over the past couple of weeks. Due to my busy schedule, I've asked if he might consider doing another term as chair, and he graciously accepted. So I nominate Eric Guerra for chair.
I'll second that. This is Terry.
Thank you. If we could ask for a vice chair motion, we try to keep the city and then bounce it back to the county.
I'd like to make a motion for vice chair for Supervisor Patrick Kennedy.
Okay, Vice Chair Sue Frost, do you mind if we put that as one motion, Chair for Guerra, Vice Chair for Kennedy?
Is Kennedy accepting that nomination?
Yes.
Okay, because we tried that 2 years ago. That didn't work.
Okay, Mr. Memory.
We have the opportunity to mute him if he tries to say no now. So, okay. Is there any further discussion, Madam Clerk? Any comments from the public on this? Nope. And we're bringing it back to the board. Any comments from the board? If not, Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Director Aquino?
Aye.
Director Daniels?
Aye.
Director Desmond?
Aye.
Director Frost?
Yes.
Director Guerra?
Aye.
Director Harris?
Aye.
Director Kennedy?
Aye.
Director Laloe?
Aye.
Director Natoli is absent. Director Papineau?
Aye.
Director Cerna?
Aye.
Director Singh Allen?
Aye.
Director Terry?
Aye.
Director Vang?
Yes.
This item passes.
Great. Thank you very much. And I appreciate everyone's vote of confidence here. This is great work. And it's something that we've been able to pull together as a region. I think one of the great things about this board is that we know that air quality affects us regionally, doesn't stop at a city boundary. So appreciate everybody's work on this. And Director Harris, I think I saw you unmute. Did you have any questions by chance?
No questions, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, Madam Clerk, we'll move on to our next item on the agenda here on the discussion calendar.
Item number 9 on the discussion calendar, appointment of board members to standing committees of the board.
Great. I think in the past we've had the finance committee has been the chair, the vice chair, and the immediate past chair. And I think for the composition in the past, Director Ayala and our board clerk, we've had Director Frost, myself, and I believe it was Director Terry here. And we need 4 members. Is that correct?
We need 5.
I have 75.
We need 5. So I'd like to see if we could add Director Kennedy as vice chair so we can keep that continuity as we discuss the budget as the year progresses. And then that opens it up for one more spot that would be, it'd be good to have one of the city member agencies, Elk Grove, Citrus Heights, Folsom, which one I'm missing one here. Rancho Cordova. Oh, we've got Rancho on there. So if there's a member agency that's interested in that spot.
This is Sarah Aquino from Folsom. I'd be happy to do it.
Mayor Aquino, thank you very much. Mayor Aquino, can I take that as a motion for all 5 for the Finance Committee?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll ask for a second.
I'll second Terry.
It's been seconded by Board Member Terry. And let's, Madam Clerk, can we please call the roll on that item, and then we'll go to the hearing officers.
Yeah. Director Aquino?
Aye.
Director Daniels?
Aye.
Director Desmond?
Aye.
Director Frost?
Aye.
Director Guerra?
Aye.
Director Harris?
Aye.
Director Kennedy?
Aye.
Director Laloe?
Aye.
Director Natoli? Director Papineau?
Aye.
And Director Cerna?
Aye.
Director Singh Allen?
Aye.
Director Terry?
Aye.
Director Vang?
Yes.
This portion of the item passes.
Great, thank you. Now our hearing officers. So the Air Quality Management District also functions as a quasi-judicial body to hear items and appeals of fines that the authority does. It's generally the chair of the board and then 2 member agencies. For balance, I think it's important if we have one member of the county board on this and then another city member agency. Is there a member of the county board that would wish to do this? And I'm leaning over at Vice Chair Kennedy here, but I'm willing to take anybody here that may want to do it.
I would like to give Director Desmond an opportunity to join or not, whether at his pleasure.
Director Desmond, would you like to be part of our hearing authority board here?
I'd be happy to. Thank you.
Very good. Good. We were going to mute you if you tried to say no with your lips there. So.
That's what I'm sensing. That's how it goes around here.
Chair Guerra, could
Yes.
I interject for just a quick second? I'm
Yes.
sorry, this is Jamil Moons, Admin Services Division Manager. So I just wanted to clarify that this role it's a committee to, if there's a vacancy on the hearing board, so to be
Correct.
clear for those who are offering up here or on the vote, it is simply that if we have a vacancy on the hearing board, that it's a vetting committee, it's a nomination committee.
Right.
So we accept applications. It would be to review that and then to put forward a candidate for our hearing board. So just to be very clear about that, it's a nomination committee role as a committee member.
Correct. Thank you very much, Jamil, for that clarification there. So we need one more city to join in here. I see Mayor Bobby Singh Allen here. Welcome, Bobby Singh. Thank you for stepping forward. So I'll take your hand raised as a motion for that nomination for Board Member Desmond and Board Member Singh Allen and the chair. And is there a second?
Second, Frost.
Second by Frost. Okay. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, do we have any comments on this item here?
No, we do not.
Seeing none, we'll go ahead and call the roll.
Director Aquino,
Aye.
Director Daniels. Director Daniels,
Sorry. Aye.
Director Desmond,
Aye.
Director Frost,
Yes.
Director Guerra,
Aye.
Director Harris,
Aye.
Director Kennedy,
Aye.
Director Lowy,
Aye.
Director Natoli, Director Papineau,
Aye.
Director Cerna, Director Cerna,
Aye.
Director Singh Allen,
Aye.
Director Terry,
Aye.
Director Vang.
Yes.
This item also passes.
Great. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. All right, we'll move on to our next item on the discussion calendar, the Climate Justice and Jobs Summit. And this, as many of you may know, for the new board members and for the current ones, many of our agencies are working on a lot of the similar issues, whether you're on the RT board, SACOG, and even within your own city. These efforts are to address our issues of climate change and resiliency, but most importantly, also the issue of job opportunities, economic opportunities. The summit here, and I'll have Dr. Ayala and our staff kind of move on here, but this is a conversation that we had to avoid us from being siloed and making sure that we're working better as a region, and making sure that we also put our strongest foot forward and take advantage of the fact that we have the state capitol and the legislature here, and how do we figure out how do we are more effective in drawing down those resources that can help us on the jobs front. And now more so with the federal administration that's signaling that there could be federal dollars coming down. How do we get ahead of the curve to draw down some of these federal dollars, particularly for employment opportunities for our communities here? With that, I'll pass it over to Dr. Ayala.
Well, thank you, Chair. I'm going to go ahead and pass it right over to Mr. Lemos, who's going to make the staff presentation. And if the board wants to ask any questions, we can engage after. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair, for the introduction there, and Dr. Ayala. Good morning, Chair and members of the board, and welcome to all the new members of our board, and Happy New Year. My name is Jaime Lemos, and I'm the Transportation and Climate Change Division Manager. And I'm going to provide a small update on the community work that we did in 2020 and the local efforts for this year. This item is really on the local efforts, but I do want to remind everybody that we have larger regional efforts, and in the number 2 item of the consent calendar, you'll see many of our larger projects, over $54 million in our region. So that's just a reminder that we have projects all over our region and also at the local level. Next slide, please. Over the last couple of years, our team has had numerous conversations with community organizations. These conversations are still ongoing every single day, and they're important to our local community programs and also important to the communities. The conversations happen through a variety of venues: the AB 617 Steering Committee, the California AB 617 Consulting Group, the AB 617 Community Air Grants efforts with Valley Vision, the City of Sacramento EJ Working Group, and many, many more, many of which many of you all know very well. Throughout all of these meetings and these conversations, there's a common theme here. It's all about getting access to medical, access to housing, jobs, transportation, and funding. So we're focusing some of our programs to address these community needs, mostly jobs and transportations, and hopefully to provide better access to funding. The other part of this is that we've heard from the communities is don't overburden us. Many of their organizations are stretched out thin, working with many of our partner agencies. And so now we're looking to consolidate our efforts to work together to provide information in a more of a streamlined fashion, but then also to collect information from communities as well. Next slide, please. So what are we doing to address some of these issues? Well, we have programs. Many of you are familiar with these, the Cars Share and Clean Cars for All program. These are programs that are focused at the local level, addressing community needs, mostly transportation. In the Del Paso area, we're working with Green Tech and other partners to create mobility hubs with various transportation options for the community. And from my understanding, I believe we just broke ground this week. And so we're hopeful that this community hub will be up and running very soon. We're also working in the Del Paso Heights and North Natomas Gardenland communities for a potential second AB 617 communities. Now, for some of you, this is familiar with our AB 617 communities. You'll see our map on the slide there, and you'll see the purple area, which is our South Sacramento Flooring community. That is our ARB selected AB 617 community. But if you also notice in the red circle there, that is a potential for a second community. And so we're working with this northern community as a potential AB 617 community. Our director has mentioned as well about state funding. There is state funding in the budget. We follow it very closely, as he mentioned, that many of these programs rely on how much is allocated. But also we need to work together to really advocate for our fair share of this funding. So whether we get the funding, however much money we get out of this, it's important that we continue to do the work, because as we're connecting with the communities, listening to the communities, there's an expectation there. And the expectation from the communities is that we're there to provide some assistance, of course. So we do what we can with the resources that we have, and hopefully we'll get additional funding for all of this. And I believe our ARCA strategies, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Next slide, please. Of course, we can't solve all of the issues, but we definitely can do more. So we're looking here in the Sacramento area to create a pilot program to address more of these community needs. We're working with ARC strategies, our legislative consultants, to add more flexibility to our existing programs. Some of you are familiar with the Carl Moyer program and the Community Air Protection program. And so we're trying to add flexibility language to be able to meet more of these community needs. For example, in the Community Air Protection program, we want to add projects that are exposure reduction projects. So these types of projects are, for example, are additional bike lanes, additional tree canopy, additional solar canopy. The types of projects that not only beautify communities, but also reduce exposure. exposure to harmful pollutants, and also increase the ability to get on transit and active transportation like biking or walking. In the Carl Moyer program, we're looking to remove one of the largest barriers in the program, and that's the scrap requirement. So in order to participate in the Carl Moyer program, you have to have an existing vehicle. If you don't have a qualifying existing vehicle, then that's it. You can't participate in this program at all. We have a model program called the CCAT program, which is our local program, which we tried this pilot already, where we removed this barrier. And what we found is that now we're oversubscribed. We have organizations like CRP, Community Resource Projects, that have taken advantage of this and now have 9 zero emissions work vehicles now, as opposed to buying combustion type vehicles. Organizations like Green Tech, Sacramento County Library are all also in line to get these type of vehicles. So removing this requirement provides more access to funding to smaller organizations, small businesses, and community orgs. Now, having this type of flexibility in both programs really produces a comprehensive package to reduce both air pollution from transportation and heavy-duty equipment, but also reduces exposure to harmful pollutants through land use projects like that support transit and other type of mobility options as well. Next slide, please. So this year we were working with all the community organizations, and so this is going to be a priority. The AB 617 Steering Committee, the SACOG Equity Audit Report, and many organizations say that there's just too little resources, and so we have to do more. And so we're working with many of our partner agencies to try to streamline this, try to collaborate, try to figure out a better process so that each organization doesn't go out into the community on their own and trying to pull the same information and same data. So this is a better process. So we're all together working on this, and we still yet have not figured out exactly what the right venue is, but we're definitely trying to get there. The main goal is just to receive community feedback and provide more education in the community about all of our programs. Next slide, please. And in addition, working with all our programs, there's of course the larger need, as I mentioned earlier. Our board chair and our director and many of our partners have been brainstorming on how do we address all of these needs. There's a common theme here. With the new administration, we need a regional conversation on equitable pipelines to climate-related jobs. But not just a conversation, we need some action here. Our partner Valley Vision has agreed to coordinate a climate justice and jobs summit for our region. And our target date here is March of 2021, this year. So that's just 2 months away. So we'll be shortly putting more information out to all of you. And so this concludes my presentation, but I do want to invite our chair and director to share more on this vision. Thank you.
Great, thank you. No, again, the big purpose is was to bring everyone together and make sure that we maximize our resources on these initiatives, and that we're not duplicating but building upon each of our work. I'm going to go ahead and pass this over. Before Madam Clerk, do we have any members of the public who wish to comment on this item?
Not from the public, but we do have Director Harris and Director Aquino who would like to speak.
Yes, I do have them here queued up. So I'm going to go first to Director Harris, and then I saw Director Aquino punch up, and then I got Director Daniels that'll come up right after that. All right, Director Harris.
Thank you, Chair. Jaime and Dr. Ayala, I'd like to thank you personally for attending the GNNA meeting to discuss the possibility of a Northern AB 617 community. I appreciate your efforts in advocating for that. You know, the Gardenland community and Northgate as well are highly compromised of Latinx community, and I think your presence there was very meaningful to the community members. Great discussion. Again, just wanted to thank you. Obviously, when you talk about involving the communities, you put your effort where your mouth is, right? And you were really well received. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Director Harris. Director Aquino.
Thank you. Just a quick question on those car share programs. How does the insurance work? Is the driver responsible for carrying any sort of auto insurance?
No. We work with our partner, Zipcar. And so Zipcar assumes all the liability. So there really is no risk to the communities or to the drivers themselves. We try to take care of all of this because we understand that there's a big need, right? How do we take care of insurance as a participant? But then even also the community that does not have driver's license. So even there we have champion drivers who drive folks in and around those neighborhoods to get folks around.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and that's an area that's continuing to evolve now that there's more companies that are getting into car share. It's becoming part of multifamily housing developments. What happens? What folks are realizing that they're spending a lot of land with parked cars, and so in many of the multifamily housing developments, they're looking at car share as an option to reduce the amount of parking when folks only needed to do a few rides here and there. Director Daniels, yes.
Thank you. Good to see you, Jaime. It's been a while, and I always appreciate your very professional, thorough presentations. You do a great job. I believe you were talking about under the Carl Moyer program and zero emission vehicles, community-based organizations, and it sounded like you mentioned a library board or organization. And it made me wonder, how much driving do they do? And so I don't see it as a great idea to take taxpayer dollars and hand a car to an organization that has a very limited need to drive. Now they may, whatever this organization does, it may require them to be out and about and visiting libraries. I don't know. But is there any kind of requirement in this program or idea that really works at getting vehicles that are driven a lot replaced, as opposed to just, saying, wow, great, we now have a zero emission vehicle?
That's a great question, Director Daniels. Yes, every vehicle has.
That's my one for the year. Okay, just
No, you're welcome to have as many as you want. That's a really good question. So many of our programs do have requirements, right? There's a lot of very strict guidelines within all of our programs, specifically the Carl Moyer program. And so there is a guideline that the participant must meet minimum mileage requirements. And that ensures that we're not purchasing a vehicle just so that it could sit around, right? We're really, in essence, trying to promote the advancement of this technology. Now, in the library vehicle, this is a mobile library that is going to be used to provide access to books in areas that are not necessarily close to a library and within the community. I believe that the intent of this library mobile is to travel through all of the Sacramento County and try to reach some of those neighborhood kids that don't have access to their public library.
Thank you very much. I knew you'd have the answer.
Yeah, that's a good question, Director Daniels, because I will say that when I was a kid, I grew up in County Road 86 and 23. And one thing about the Sacramento County is that we're not only urban, suburban, but rural. And so for a lot of the kids, the bookmobile from our public library, the Sacramento Public Library, is how we're able to get books and accessible to kids out in our rural areas. One unique thing about our Metro Air District, unlike say Bay Area or LA County or whatnot, is that we have to adjust to the needs of that diversity of communities: rural needs, suburban needs, and also urban needs. Other questions from the board members? Seeing none, thank you very much, Mr. Limas and Dr. Ayala, for this, and we'll go ahead and move on to our next item on the discussion calendar.
The next item on the discussion calendar, update from legislative advocate on the California state budget. And I have Amy Brown and Kim Craig on the line to give the presentation.
Well, good morning, Amy and Kim. We've had the pleasure of working with you over the last almost, is it 2 years now?
It's about 3.5.
About 3.5. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, almost 4. It's been
a
while.
Pandemic time. So we'll take it away.
Okay, thank you very much. am I able to share my slide, or can the host allow that to share screen? There we go, from the beginning. Actually, I've got an updated slide. Is there a possibility for
Let me
be able to share my screen? If not, that's okay.
Let me give you permission.
Thanks. While she's doing that, let me just start off by saying I'm here with Kim Craig, my business partner. And for those who are unfamiliar with ARC Strategies, like Chairman Garrett said, we've been representing the district for about 3.5, 4 years on a whole host of issues, which we'll kind of go through, really centered on what we're doing now. But just by way of background, ARC Strategies is a group of 7 team members. We've got 6 full-time lobbyists, 4 partners. I'm one of the partners, obviously, Kim Craig, who is presenting with me, Dominic Damari, and also Jonathan Feldman. And even though Kim and I are sort of, front and center and leads on, interactions with the district, we all work on the issues together. And so, everyone in our group knows exactly what we're working on behalf of the district, and we dogpile as needed. So let me see.
You can go ahead and share the screen now.
Oh, great. Thank you. Okay. Here we go. Let me start from the beginning. There we go. Are we good? Can you all see it? Yes? Head nods? Okay, before we get started, I wanted to just kind of do a quick primer, and I know we have about less than 15 minutes, so we'll make this brief and hopefully have questions at the end. The legislature's in full swing. Obviously, the legislators are actually in the Capitol. Lobbyists and staff cannot enter the Capitol, nor can the public, unless they have one essential staffer with them. February 19th is the deadline to introduce legislation this year. We have a budget process that is due by the end of June. But this year, and I'm going to kick it over to Kim before we start our slides, this year is a little interesting because we do have a one-time surplus, which is going to deferrals. And the governor, in his January budget proposal, has said that he wants to do some early action items that he hopes the legislature will pass before the June 30th deadline. But I'll kick it over to Kim to make some comments, and then I'll just start scrolling down our slides. So Kim, take it away.
Sure. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having us. This year's budget actually is better than many assumed. And just a broader brush paint of the budget is, this year's budget's $227 billion. Of that, $85.8 billion will go to education this year as a requirement of our Prop 98 constitutional requirement. That's the largest investment in education that we have. But I think one of the biggest things that we see is a $15 billion surplus this year. I think when they were doing the budget last year, many thought COVID would have a greater economic impact. But what we've seen is cap gains have gone through the roof. So the highest earners are still paying those high taxes in the stock market. And that's what's really been able to drive the surplus this year, of course, because we, feast or famine, as all you know, from a local government perspective, the state's feast or famine on those. And so in the out years, we still see a budget deficit. But because of the surplus and because of the COVID, the governor's looking to do kind of a 2-pronged approach to the budget this year, some early actions and then some longer term regular budget timeline, which is, June 15th, the legislature has to pass, and then the governor has to sign it by June 30th.
So what we're working on in terms of the budget proposal this year is, a lot of the state air quality programs that Jaime mentioned in the previous presentation, Carl Moyer, and the community air protection programs are slated to sunset in 2024. So the governor's January budget proposes to extend the sunset to 2046. These are, like Jaime said, supporting the programs to accelerate turnover of existing vehicles and equipment, including off-road trucks. There are a lot of programs that are sort of bubbling up in the sort of grant space at this time. But I will tell you what is a little bit frustrating, but obviously keeps us in business, is that a lot of these state programs don't have a continuous appropriation. So every year we have to fight for that amount, and we also have to fight for the amount that goes to the Sacramento Air District as well. So real busy in terms of budget process and proposals, especially this year, considering the fact that a lot of what Kim and I are doing is lobbying virtually with members of the legislature and budget staff. So Kim, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I think you can go to the next slide, Amy. So I think, really for the Air District, the cap and trade plan and those investments are a big deal. I think, interestingly enough, the governor has proposed to do a two-step approach in cap and trade, and to do some early action funding, and then to do the rest of the cap and trade on the normal, what's called budget path and timeline. I think that's hard. Nobody has defined what early action means in the legislature. I will tell you, I've had conversations with leadership staff in both houses who have said, yeah, early action, I don't know. There's a couple of things that are not related to air quality and cap and trade that are expiring at the end of the month, and they've done that. But there are a lot of different priorities within cap and trade. And so, it's my sense that that's going to take a long time to land. And I know Jaime and the staff at the Air Board know that as well. And so while it says early action, and there are a lot of programs in that early action that we care about, it will be difficult to figure out what that timing is and when they're going to adopt that plan. So I think specifically for us, I think what you see that are most important to the Air District are, there are large investments again in the community incentives program for air quality monitoring, what we refer to as the AB 617 program to fund incentives. You have one of those programs already. The governor proposes to do $125 million in early action, and that gets back to this two-step budget process, and then $140 million. You also see him providing $50 million for actual district implementation. And these are key dollars that you Air District needs really to make these programs a reality. He proposes that in the regular budget cycle because we were able to get a different source of funds for that last year. And then he also provides $10 million for technical assistance to community-based organizations to help them implement these projects. So I think, we see several investments in clean air and clean trucks and zero emissions, but I think those are really targeted funds that we'll be advocating for on your behalf, and trying to track this early action versus long-term to make sure, number one, we get the funding that's proposed, and number two, that you get your fair share.
So, I don't want to belabor the details of this effort and what we're trying to do in terms of the flexibility, because I think Jaime did a really good job pointing out what changes we need to make on behalf of the district in utilizing existing funds to pay for workers to do those clean air projects, and of course the Carl Moyer to remove those barriers, those scrap for the vehicles. Now, politically, we'll give you a little kind of background on what we've been up to over the past, I would say, 9-10 months. So, this was really, we looked at it from a perspective of COVID, right? You've got these displaced workers because of COVID. This is an opportunity to hire some of those folks who are unemployed for either a temporary time being or longer term. And thanks to the leadership of Chairman Guerra, we were able to talk to some of the legislative delegation. Assemblymember McCarty, Senator Richard Pan, and others, kind of towards the end of the legislative session last year to see if we could get something in. We also had a number of conversations with Senate leadership, and I think the stars were starting to align, but we just ran out of time because the legislature, ended its session on August 31st. So what we've been doing over the course of the fall and into the January beginning of the year is we've been talking with the governor's office. We've also we've reconnected with Dr. Pian, Assemblymember McCarty, and others to look at actual language as it relates to this flexibility with these programs. So there's two tracks that we are looking to do. One could possibly be a standalone bill, but this is sort of in the context of the budget. So we're hoping that we can get some headway with a budget trailer bill and move that along. Because again, a budget trailer bill is sort of tied to the budget. And so, if it passes when, the budget's due, we can start utilizing the flexibility sooner than a standalone bill. If it passes, it doesn't go into effect until January 1, 2022. So again, we want to take advantage of the possibility of putting folks, in terms of the flexibility of hiring workers, folks who've been displaced by COVID. We also kind of talked about, okay, should we do this statewide? And really what we wanted to do, not to create not to create a statewide controversial issue. We're gearing towards having this be Sacramento specific and do it as a pilot program to see if it works in the future. Let me back up for 1 second. What's really important when we're talking about this particular issue, because it is fairly new and there's a lot of educating legislators about this, there may be some apprehension to go down this road. Legislators and budget staff see Kim and me all the time, every day, sometimes especially during budget negotiations. And what's really important here is we would love we see the engagement of some of the board members go a long way, right? You're part of their constituency. You may have relationships with them. And so when we couple, our Kim's and mine and our team's advocacy efforts with a call from a board member, it elevates the issue significantly. So I just wanted to mention that as we move forward in this year. And then just real briefly, we were asked to kind of cover the federal funding issues. These are some of the, issues related to the new Biden administration. We're expected to be $159 billion, an increase of $34.2 billion over the revised 2019-20 level. The increases are due to the Medicaid programs, and then of course the state's receipt of $9.5 billion for the coronavirus relief fund, which we got last year as well. The real issue here that's going on actually right now on the floor is, there's federal rent relief coming for, tentative moratorium on tenant evictions, things like that, about $2.6 billion to local jurisdictions. The Assembly and Senate are debating right now on the floor SB 91, which is the framework for those federal rent relief monies coming in, because, the moratorium now expires, I think it's January 31st. Is that right, Kim?
Monday.
Yeah,
Yes.
Monday. So they really have to get rolling on this particular issue at this point. And then, of course, as Kim mentioned, the negotiations as it relates to early action items and what's going to elevate to the top in terms of expediting funds out to various locations. I know that one of the biggest things that the legislature is really grappling with, and we've talked to several legislators about it, it's really, economic recovery, right, for businesses within folks' jurisdictions. And so there's a lot of talk about what that looks like and what funding we can get from the federal government. Last thing I'll just mention, Dr. Ayala mentioned it early, the Biden administration, we're seeing now his executive authority. And I just got this in my inbox this morning. Climate Day was, I guess, yesterday, and it provides a glimpse of what the president can do on his own. And, Biden paused oil and gas leases on public lands. He ordered federal agencies to buy clean electricity and electric vehicles. And he's created a White House climate office. And of course, we're, back into the Paris Accord. So you're going to see a lot of movement at the federal level. And, Kim, I want your comments at the end. And I think the state's going to sort of react and take that in. Right? I mean, yeah.
I would agree, Amy. Yes, I think there's a lot happening at the federal level that number two will provide some incentives for different investments in the states, and California has set itself up well. And so I think, the Governor Newsom sent a letter to the president outlining some of those climate partnerships that we can do together. And so I see additional investments coming from the feds as part of his larger green economy, green climate deal plan that will unfold in the next 6 months.
Yeah, thank you for that, Kim. And with that, is there more coming? Likely, these are the two issues that have gotten a lot of attention at the federal level, but it's going to be interesting to see what the feds are going to do and how they're going to take care of California as we move forward into recovery. So we'll stop there, and Chairman Guerra, we'll kick it over to you and see if people have questions.
Great. Thank you very much. No, I appreciate that, Amy and Kim, for the work. I think the big issue here is we're asking for flexibility, loosen the restrictions so we can get, people back to work and achieve our air quality goals. I think that's a critical one. And then how do we prepare ourselves for any federal dollars so that we can bring that into the economy. And when the Air District issues out contracts, correct me if I'm wrong, Director Ayala, but they go out to our local small businesses, our contractors, our people employing folks here. So the benefit of drawing down federal and state dollars is making sure that we bring that into our local economy. Is that correct, Dr. Ayala?
It is, Mr. Chair. And to that point, for those of you board members, especially the new ones, as Mr. Lemos pointed out, please take a look at the consent item where we are reporting all those projects, $250,000 and greater. You'll get a really good sense in terms of where these monies go to. They go to local businesses, large and small, therefore technology improvements that then leads to a better business proposition for those that participate in our programs. And what our legislative advocate just talked about is we want more of that, because again, that is the fastest way to reduce emissions and reach our quality goals.
Great, thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any members of the public signed up to speak? And if we could stop screen share here so we can see our board members. Madam Clerk?
No, we do not.
Great. Are there questions from the board for our team here? Seeing none, I want to thank both Amy and Kim for joining us here today. They're available to answer any questions if you remember of any issues that come up, and appreciate all your work. And we've got a busy year ahead of us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, our last important but very quick item here, thanks to the leadership of our past chair, Donald Terry. And we have our city manager, Cyrus, here. Oh my gosh, what a pleasure. Bringing in the big guns here today too. So, Madam Clerk.
Item number 12, Rancho Cordova deployment of low-cost air monitoring sensors. And I have Mark Lautzenheiser to start us off with this presentation.
Good morning, Chair Guerra, members of the board. While the very short presentation comes up, I am Mark Lautzenheiser, a division manager here at the district over Program Coordination Division. I'm happy to be able to just sort of do a very short lead-in and introduction for the city of Rancho Cordova and some efforts that they are undertaking. Madam Clerk, if you could go and pull up the presentation, and you can go ahead and go to the second slide. Well, maybe while that's being pulled up, I'll just share this as well. There is going to be one slide at the very end after I even introduce the city of Rancho Cordova. That's really just informational for our existing board members. You've received all those links in a previous presentation, but knowing that we have a number of new board members, I included some hopefully very helpful links should we have to deal with another wildfire situation again in the future. But with that said, the focus today is here talking about the city of Rancho Cordova's deployment of low-cost air sensors. You can go and go to the next slide. So just very briefly, information is obviously very key. The public wants to be able to, needs information in order to know how to make decisions using air quality information, whether they're going outside, exercising, sporting activities, to name just a few. And so air quality monitoring really is truly foundational to our work. It is key for us knowing how we're reaching attainment and how we hopefully stay in attainment for different pollutants as well. Back in October, we did provide an update on air pollution impacts from the wildfires. And as part of that presentation, we also talked about the use and role of low-cost monitoring sensors, basically what's often referred to as enabling citizen science. It is very complementary to our established regulatory network, although it's not quite as accurate, but it does provide very useful real-time information to the public. Go ahead, next slide, please. This is just a quick example. There are a wide variety of low-cost sensors available from a number of different manufacturers. This is just a sampling of some of them. Next slide, please. And this data is already being used both regionally and nationally as well. This is a quick snapshot, again, back from during the wildfire season. So the numbers are not in the orange today. Fortunately, with the storm system we've been desperately needing, we're actually in greens pretty much across the board right now. But you can see with all these dots, these are all additional low-cost sensors augmenting and enhancing the existing regulatory network, providing a lot of great information, real-time information, both for air districts and the public as well. The picture that's sort of overlaid on the bottom right is an example even of the clarity sensors that we're using in our South Sacramento Florin community, applying a denser network there. And one of the things though that came up after the presentations we did back in October to this board is Director Terry and the city of Rancho Cordova came and looked at this and said that, this is great, and that they would like to try and see how they, as the city of Rancho Cordova, could help maybe fill in some of these blanks for their jurisdiction. Next slide, please. And so with that, though, I do want to introduce both Cyrus Apahar with the city of Rancho Cordova and Laura Fickle to go ahead and talk about what some efforts that the city has taken on to go ahead and provide some additional information to their residents.
Well, welcome, Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Chair Guerra and members of the board. My name is Cyrus Apahar, City Manager for Rancho Cordova. I do appreciate the opportunity to collaborate with Air Quality District staff on this project. I wanted to point out that the idea actually came from one of our residents who requested to be given an opportunity to participate in the resident scientist side of monitoring their quality. And as we looked into it, we felt this not only empowers our residents to participate in the program, but also gives them hopefully more awareness of the program and awareness of their quality and the importance of following good practices. So we reached out to our city council, and city council fully supported the idea. And in further discussions with Dr. Ayala and his staff, they welcomed the idea, and they felt not only this provides an opportunity for residents to participate, but also provides additional technical tools and data points that can be integrated into the overall plan and the overall program. So with that, I'm going to ask Laura Fickle just to give you a brief overview of the project and what we've accomplished so far and where we're going with this project.
Thank you, Cyrus. Good morning, Chairman Guerra and members of the board. So you guys covered a lot of it, and thank you so much, Mark, for that presentation. If you remember that slide with the map on it, if you notice kind of where Mather Airport was, there's quite a lack of data for that area. So we're very excited. The citizens, residents wanted to engage, and we were happy to be able to provide an avenue for them to engage. So we have 13 volunteers so far that will be receiving their air sensors on Monday. They can either pick them up or they will, we can mail them as well. And thank you for this. And thank you to the AQMB staff, Dr. Ayala, and your staff for partnering with us on this, producing this flyer. This is what they are going to get with their sensor when they pick it up. We thought it was important to share with them why sharing the data is important, and how to do it actually too. So letting them know where the data is going and why it's so important. So we appreciate the partnership with staff on this, and we look forward to probably adding more as we go along.
Well, thank you, Laura, and it's great to see you again. You know, we're bummed that Rancho stole you from the city of Sacramento over here, but we still have you in the Air District.
Ha ha.
I miss working out in Power Inn.
With that, Mr. City Manager, do you have other additional comments on this?
No, I think I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Ayala and your staff for providing this opportunity to us, and look forward to working further with your staff and expanding the program. As we've heard from your staff, there's great deal of value in having these additional monitoring stations. So we do what we can to play our part in improving air quality in our region. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. And again, that's a point of how a local jurisdiction is partnering in the network of the Air District. And with that, I want to just thank Board Member Terry, our past chair, for taking the leadership on this. Board Member Chair, I think you had some, Board Member Terry, you had some comments here.
Yeah, especially for the newer members of this board. I'm thinking of, I was actually looking at like where the monitoring stations are in the county, but like in Galt and some other places where you're not called, your community's not called out, just like Rancho Cordova is. And so with the fires in the fall and the winter, we had a lot of residents that, you know, were wondering like, why don't we have our own station? Yet there's one in Slough House, there's one in Folsom, there's one in Sacramento. So we're surrounded by these monitoring stations, but, you know, they were wondering, why don't we have one in our own community? And so this was really the solution to look at, you know, participating and being part of the solution. Because ultimately, you know, I had constituents that were like, you know, I don't know if I can let my kids outside to go play. And mainly it's like, you know, if you can smell smoke, you really shouldn't be outside. But, you know, here's another way that we can participate without, you know, $100,000 monitoring station being put somewhere that, you know, from a scientific standpoint doesn't really need to be there because we have ones in other places. So as the newer board members that are maybe in areas where you're getting questions like that, especially during the fires, for those new members here, the last few years have been a very dynamic time for this board and for this organization, as you know, weather reports and crime reports are being put on the back burner to air quality and whether or not it's safe for kids to be at school. For you know, up until pandemic, you know, our fall was, you know, what's the air quality, and then, you know, here's the traffic report. I mean, those are the kinds of leads that we're seeing, and so a lot of our constituents are just really interested in knowing more about, you know, the air that they're breathing. So thanks, Cyrus and staff and Alberto and everybody for working together.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Madam Clerk, do we have any members of the public who wish to comment on this item?
No, we do not.
Great. Thank you. I'll bring it back to the board if there are any questions from our board members on this item here. Seeing none. Again, I want to thank, you know, this is a good example of how multiple jurisdictions are working together to get information. The information helps us actually draw down more money. The more we can get data in certain areas, we can be prepared to be competitive.
Chair Guerra?
Oh, yes. Board Member Harris.
A question comes to mind. I'm just curious, of the low cost product available, what kind of price range do they run?
So we determined just based on the ease of use and the cost, we used Purple Air sensors, and they ran about $260.
Thank you, Laura. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So there is a good range of low cost, mid cost, and more of the federal high quality monitors that I think cities could look into, and not to function isolated, but to link into the network. So all of these are plugged into the current regional network. So thank you, Board Member Harris. If there are no further questions on this item, I want to thank everyone for here today. That's the last item on our discussion calendar. Madam Clerk, do we have any members of the public wishing to speak?
No, we do not.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. And then last item is board ideas, comments, and AB 1, 2, 3, 4 reports. Doesn't look like anyone's traveling yet, although they did lift a part of the order, but I don't expect any AB 1, 2, 3, 4 reports. Great. Since there's no comments from board members, I want to welcome all the new board members. This is a really great board to work on. A lot of regional collaboration. And with that, that concludes our business of the day. So thank you, everyone, and look forward to seeing you at the next one.